Hi bees! You have no idea how excited I am to make the video about Dragori Games and together with Dragori Games. The first time I've heard about the campaign, it was Tanares Adventures. I didn't know Arena the contest before. So when I first heard about Tanares Adventures, I was so hyped with the possibilities promised by the campaign for me as a player, for me as a miniatures collector, for me as a painter. If the Dragori Games brand doesn't say you anything, you've probably missed one of the most important, massive tabletop miniature experiences on Kickstarter. From the mentioned Arena the contest through Tanares Adventure, now with Tanares RPG on the horizon. On the occasion of Essen Spiel, Dragori Games reopens their pledge manager for Tanares Adventures. So if you missed this exactly campaign, check the link below the video. Going to the core of this video, today I have a pleasure to host Gabriel from Dragori Games, and today we are going to talk about Tanares Story and Lore. Hi Gabriel, can you introduce yourself and tell us more about Dragori Games' work, especially for those who haven't heard before about your games?
Hello there guys, nice to meet you. We are Dragori Games, a fast-growing company responsible for the Kickstarter rates, Arena the contest, and Tanares Adventures. I'm Gabriel. I am the communication and digital media manager. So basically, I'm responsible for getting all the good stuff that we develop here and make you know about it. And on the other hand, also so important as that, I guarantee all the feedbacks that our awesome fan base give to us about our games and redirect it to our development team, so we can always improve and always be in touch with what our players really wants to play.
Yeah, if you guys check the updates from the previous KS campaign, Tanares Adventures, I think it's the last or it's one of the newest updates talking about boss-to-boss battles when you can use dragon against dragon.
Exactly. And not only dragon against dragon, because in Tanares Adventures you had other Rouge boss. From Arena we got an Hydra, and in Tanares we got in like a Chimera and other bosses. So it's a mode where you can play against the biggest boys. And it was meant to be just a short fun mode, but now it's really become something huge. It's a mode for themselves. It's a very tactical mode with lots of fun and possibilities.
All games of Dragori Games take place in the same Tanares world, sharing the same universe and the same lore. And can you talk a little more about how Tanares world and its lore relates to the gameplay?
So Tanares is a world that shares as much beauty as it conceals dangers. It's a high classical fantasy world, but also a dystopian one. By that I mean we have all the classic tropes that many of you guys love: dragons and paladins and sorcerers, but to a new age of fans that grows used to a more mature, even more complex content, like Game of Thrones. So we do some twists to appeal and surprise those that love this kind of story. So of course, Tanares is the home of unique landscapes, powerful beings, deadly creatures, disaster, right action, and all that. Tanares is a place that faced war for such a long time, war after war.
More and more publishers are talking that their games are for mature audience, for adults, and covering mature topics. And it's not always the true. The mature topics is sometimes that someone is dying and that's all. It's not touching more complex stuff.
Yes. No, I know what you mean. What I'm saying, it's not about that. We are not doing like a Kingdom Death Monster scenario. It's not this. What I mean, it's full of surprises. The characters are complex. They aren't black or white. They are more gray.
Yeah, so
But I really think that, as I said before, that Alex can go more deep in this in your lifetime with them. So it's just an introduction, but I got your preoccupation, and you are very truly and honest about it. It's not that we are. It's this kind of mature, but I understand what you said, and I don't even use the word mature in this way because it's not more childish than you just doing blood for blood.
at the beginning, I was even overwhelmed by the options, by the amount of modes that you can play: PvE, P2P, pick boss to boss options. After hearing you out, I have one comparison. I hope you will not be offended by this, but did you play Skyrim, or have you tried the Skyrim? Because I have a tendency to compare especially fantasy themed RPG games, board games, to the video RPGs, and we have something like Neverwinter, something like that, but I think it's the first time I can say that the board game is reflecting in some way the size of the world of the Skyrim.
Surely, we take a lot of reference in virtual games too. Elder Scrolls, of course, are a strong reference here. Because, like I said in the example of Game of Thrones, it's this trope that we work with. It's like we took the classical and gave it a new twist for a new age. And so I don't offend at all. I'm glad that you say that. And I hope we can bear this highest standard that you put. And I will believe we do because the game is so huge. With Tanares, we have like $200 plus of gameplay, more than 100 quests, main quests, side quests, character driving quests, NPC driving quests, side quests, and so on. So it's a very full experience with a lot of replayability effects.
Yeah, and I think we both trying to say that because sometimes people are just going into the quest page and they're checking the campaign, checking how many minis there are, and they're deciding, oh my god, it's another dungeon crawler with fantasy theme. And you can't be more wrong, I think, with Tanares Adventures. It's not a dungeon crawler, maybe in some ways, but it's much more than this with the story. For the people who are considering trying Tanares, let's say Tanares Adventures, not Arena, the Contest previous name, or Refreshed Arena for the first time, and I've done the same. I think they should check the rulebook, because in the rulebook, if I remember it properly, you are giving the one scenario, for example, with the vampires.
Yes.
Yeah, and after reading the possibilities and ways to play this scenario and options you can choose and not to choose, and try to choose if you will be fast enough, it's a great introduction to what you have said before about the possibility, about the options, and player can imagine after reading this example scenario that you need to multiply this by, I don't know, 10,000, or I don't know the number, but
It's exponential, yes.
yeah, but imagine the possibilities here.
Yes, one important thing for everybody who doesn't know Dragori Games still, it's as I said before, we are a fast growing company, but we are growing so fast because we have a strong basis, and we have some pillars on the strong basis that we use as a guideline for all the games that we already do, that we are doing, and that we will do in the future. That being the first thing, immersion. So we don't do just some gorgeous art and just jaw dropping miniatures because they are beautiful. We really believe that you got to get immersed in the game. So we haven't built this huge world and lore and all just for Tanares. It was already there. Actually, you have to cut things that we would prefer that we didn't, if possible, during arena development. Our idea is we aren't building just a scenario, a short story, to make the game more engaging. No, it's not this. We build whole worlds and that you feel part of it using all the tools we have when you play. That's the first thing. The second thing that I want to talk about is diversity. As you said, Arena, even the core box of Arena, it has both modes, complete modes. Many people, I remember when we launched the Kickstarter years ago, said, okay, you try doing just once right, and then we talk about it. But it's not what we wanted. Why? Because we want to reach as many different kind of players as possible. So in Arena we have a complete player versus player mode that is also about choices on other perspectives. Because if you want to if you want to win, you have to think very deeply, strategic, and mostly in a tactical way. It's a game of manipulating odds. It's not just a lucky game. So you choose the mode you wanted, a very competitive mode, or you want to go to a campaign. On this campaign, you can play in big boards like we fought before. You can play in up to 80 players, or you can play a solo adventure by yourself and join all this adventure. And you go even a lot, even more in Tanares Adventures because Tanares Adventures bring artificial intelligence kind of system. You can play alone and the game by itself, by its mechanics, by a set of cards. You just control one hero and they can control very fastly all the other things. So we try to appeal to as many kind of players and preferences as possible. This brings to the third thing: choices matter. We talk about a lot of this, but it's a main drive force here. Choices have to be matter. You have to feel awarded your victories. You have to feel that you have to improve to avoid your losses, because otherwise the game loses so much fun and the long way. The fourth thing is balance. We have professional playtesters hired here on Dragori Games. It's not just free playtesters, professional hired that working in some other very well-known companies. And they are part of all the game development of all our games. That's so because if you want to play player versus player, it will balance it. You will win, not the character will win.
Yeah, it's the issue with many complex board games that more content you have, more options you have, more not balanced game is. And it's very common, especially if the publishers forces the quick Kickstarter launch.
Even on the aforementioned Dragon collection, it's just a mode. We sum up more than 100 hours of playing testing, final play testing, not development. We had the development play test phase when the mechanics are still development, and when you are set, we play test extensively just with the professional playtesters, so the game can be as balanced as possible. All the pillars are headed to what? To replayability factor. Because Dragori Games, we have a motto here that it's game for tables, not for shelves.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's not meant to be just a good catchphrase. Although it is, it's our duty with our fan bases to stand to about this. So we have games that you can play that you see more table than the dust of your shelves. And if you have immersion, diversity, your choice matter, and it's balanced, we strongly believe that you want to replay it again and again. Because it doesn't matter if we have different endings and different facts, but if they don't are fun and you don't enjoy playing it, you want to do not even one ending. So that it's the secret of ours. That's how we are always working with. We have a complete development system, and everybody here follow these rules, these pillars, these 5 pillars. Complementing this, there are a sideline that it's we used to be players, everybody here, and still is. So we have Dungeons and Dragons here, but we treat our customers like we would like to be treated as players. And we are very prized. I'll be very honest. We are very prized by our custom services because you want that you can focus on have fun and have good moments with in our games, and we will do everything as humanly possible to get that, to get the experience that you hope that you backed it for. So we have a complex RPG, a massive RPG experience, highly balanced as well. And for me as a player, I'm sold when I'm hearing and seeing the immersion, because I believe immersion is one of the most important aspects in board games, even if there are Euro games or some simpler games. Yes. Without the immersion, you are just feeling like,
without offending anyone, but you are playing checkers or chess or something like that. Just logic games. Logic games can be without immersion, but games like this, immersion is the most important thing. And I'm really happy that you mentioned this as the first thing. And I think you forgot to mention one extra pillar, and kind of important for me as a miniature collector and as a painter, because if you check the last case campaign and you add all components from Arena the Contest, from all the expansions, from Tanares and Dragon Collection, suddenly you have almost all possible minis of classic genres and monsters and creatures in typical world. If you're looking for even only for miniature solution, also you can use in D&D plays.
Surely.
Yeah, this is also a good way to invest your.
We are crazy about 2Ds. We have these guys here, but we also have, I don't know if I can show it properly, but we have the big baddest here, that it's the Elder Dragon for our gargantuan sized guy.
This is quite a big one. It was in the campaign, or?
Yes, it was. It was in Arena the Contest campaign, but we made it available again.
Yeah, and it's another great thing about that, as you said, that all miniatures, their existence is justified by the game, by the lore, by the story, by the quests. You don't have a feeling like, oh my god, they just generated a lot of miniatures to gather more funds on Kickstarter, and just only this, just a lot of more minis. You've done this to connect to the game and to the lore. Okay, so going back to the reality for a while, and we're having this interview because of upcoming Spiel Digital, and mostly European. The previous editions were for Europe audience. Now they try to also get international, because this is the first year.
Yes.
And you want to. What's your goal, and what are you planning to do during the Essen Spiel? I'm saying Essen, during the Spiel Digital. What we should expect from you?
Well, the first thing I expect is to the end of this, I get your very nice accent, because I will just and would say Spiel. And
German are our neighbor, so it will be unrespectful to not saying this properly.
Okay. No, and I invited. My tongue just don't do the movies, so I can get this amazing sound. But we all know that we are in the middle of troubled times. The pandemic struck the world, and when you go worldwide, you are very aware that in many countries the things aren't still going at large in a very sad way. So what Spiel try to do is in these terrible times, even terrible times, offer some relief and joy for those that love games. So when they invite us, we are up to try to help in the very small way that we can. So that's the main thing to achieve here. Of course, being an European centric events and fair, the largest one, the more well-known one, the more traditional one, we're very glad to catch this opportunity to know better the European audience and make possible for them to know better ourselves and our work. Because, as you mentioned before, we are very aware that Spiel is very Eurocentric, Euro-mechanical centric. And it's okay, because, believe it or not, you are very fond of Euro games too. And one thing that you said earlier, even about Euro and immersions, we are getting more modern Euro games that are trying to get a better immersion in their own ways, using their own tools. And what we have to say, and you like, if people give us the opportunity to prove it, for those that don't know what's about us yet, it will be like that even a miniature board game can be as, if not even deeper than an Euro game in its complex way. Yes, our arena system is based on a 20-sided dice system, but it's not a lucky game at all. And I think people can get it just for this good chat of hours or seeing videos or the rulebook. It's truly a game about manipulating odds.
Yeah. I agree, because this is the thing I always checking with the games. if I'm seeing the dice within the game, I'm always checking if there's a proper mechanism to manipulate the scores. And I know that within your game, there is, even if you don't roll the number you want, you still have a hit on battle.
Yes.
It's like it's a scratch. So let's call it scratch. So the damage is lower than you expected from your attack, but it's still not a miss. And this little thing, it for me personally, it's changed a lot. I'm not a lucky guy. I don't have luck with dice, so
You can try your chances, but the game is developed as if you want just to roll dice, you better not like him to win very much because it won't happen. It's not only this, because you say you got to build your team of heroes, then you build each heroes, then you build your strategy, then you have to choose actions, how you move, your actions every turn, how you interact with the scenery of that level, of that stage. So it's pretty common, to be very honest, that you can hit not absurdly bad, like you miss 10 times, but we proved that. When we did Tanares Adventures Kickstarter, uh, Arena main game designer and our CEO Alex play a game, an online game with the best of the community, and he loses in the game that he created. So this was why we still want to put the dice mechanic, because it's not despised entirely. This choices and this tactical thing, but it rounds a little, because otherwise, if it's not so, it's very hard for you to win a game against its creator. At the same time, in this even same game, you can see you can roll pretty badly, so but if your strategy is good, if you move well, if you have right synergies in between your own team, you probably will be the winner, most like 9 times out of 10. And this is why we bring to Spiel, because we really like the passionate of our European fan base.
Yeah, I was surprised that earlier you mentioned that you are not that well recognized by European audience, because I thought that you have the same recognition in Europe as in States. So come on, guys from Europe.
Yeah, because we love you, but we love you. But bring your friends to know us too. Let's all be friends.
I think I'm not trying to advertise too much your game now, but but for me, as a person who grown on the classic RPGs on PC, on even mostly on PC, because this is with isometric perspective, and on Skyrim and on different RPGs, I believe that Tanares is one of those board games who needs to be checked by RPG lovers. This is something that you at least should try to get to know.
I'm biased to say, but I'm definitely with you. And even those that aren't into RPGs, we have a lot of stories, true stories in offline events that we went. Like it's the game that many guys did. Heavy gamers got their girlfriends or fiance or little cousin into a more heavier game, because the game offers you this possibility. It's not a super complex thing, Even right now, dragons are a common thing, or a common trend. Like, and so it's. I think people at least should give a check, because we have, like, for those that are into it, like, you have 9.2, 9.1 for this from day to day of average rating on BGG. I won't be not humble to say, oh, that means that we are the greatest. It's not this. It's not this. We know other games are bigger and get more reviews, and people get more angry. The more respect, sometimes the more angry you get when you finally put your hands on that. But when when you have a rating that is far above than a beloved game that we love so much, but that it's the long still king in the BGG, that it's Raven. I think we deserve to just at least try yourself. If you don't like, that's okay. And you can even talk about it. And you say, okay, I think you guys have a great idea, and but this didn't appeal to me. As I said, our artificial intelligence system, it's entirely an idea of our customers. There are so many guys saying, I love to play solo, but the game wasn't designed, Arena wasn't designed with solo in mind. And that's true. We think that maybe 1, 2 people play it, but it's a huge game to play solo. And guys said, if you do this, if you do that, it will be so much better. So why not? If you are able to do it, if that makes sense, and it did.
Tanares was created for community, with community, and considering the reviews and opinions on BGG, it's loved by the community as well. And what the community should expect during Essen, again I said Essen again, during Spiel Digital, what they should expect to see more. Maybe we should expect some surprises from you.
Okay, so we are here to get to know better and get our work know better for the European audience. For business interests, we will have our commercial team fully willing and available. Just contact them. We really want to know better the audience there, what we can do, how can we improve. Now, for the players and the general public, surely we will have some very good things here in your virtual booths, and I think that everybody will like it. So we start Spiel today, and not even we are hoping our plat manager, so you can get all Arena the Contest, Tanares Adventures, and Dragon Collection contents, but they will be in a very exclusive offer at the same price as the Kickstarter. So here in our booth, just click on the internet wish, click on the buy icon, and you go to our plat manager, and there our prices will be lower. It will be the same as PS. I think it's a very good opportunity to get it if you like. On other contents, on Friday, we will talk more about Tanares RPG, our next release. That's a model, a huge model for the biggest RPG in the world in its 5th edition. So tomorrow you can get the first preview on it, and we'll talk more about it for the first time. What you can expect from it, what it brings to those to RPG players and for our board game players, and why we're doing it, and some news about it. Still on Friday, we start to getting hot about gameplay itself. So I heard that our CEO Alex will done a very good live with the awesome guys of the BC Geeks that is also known as you guys.
Yeah, that's true. It was the plan for me ending this interview after our recording to say that I invited you for the interview, but yeah, we can say this. We can give it here that on Friday we're expecting to make an interview with Dragori Games CEO named Alex, and we will talk more about the board game market and the Tanares RPG itself.
We would like to invite everyone, even those that aren't our games player, because Alex have a very unusual history and professional career, and he's not only a game designer himself, but he also CEO of a professional board game company. So he's very open to share his experience and insights about the markets and give tips for newcomers and fellow professional companies alike. So it's a very good opportunity. I hope that everybody seeing this will enjoy it. Now, on Saturday, our day of game plays, Mr. Files06 from his channel, who is a very avid player of Arena himself, will be hosting a tabletop simulator. So you can play with him through Arena official Discord, and you can see him live on Twitch. You have very good things to show, and he will have content for those that never played Arena before, or even to the players. As a very, very good player himself, he will give you tips about how you balance it and how the classes of the game, and build a more synergic team and show it for everybody else.
So if you want to master the game, this is the this is the moment for you.
Yes, for newcomers and already players alike. Now on Sunday closing up, we will be closing with a giveaway that we wanted.
Oh my god, that's new even for me.
So we'll talk about it through these days on our virtual booths. So follow us on daily basis. Coming Sunday, you have more chances to be the lucky winner of our giveaway and get some of the stuff we're talking about here for free. That's a very, very nice opportunity.
Other content you are excited to see besides Dragori Games? What games are you... What other games you as the player are cheering to have a success during the Spiel?
This is a very good question because, when Spiel comes, we usually expect like huge announcements. Fellow companies usually have things up their sleeve. We're not the exception of it. But what I would say is that Spiel is also a very good platform for newcomers and indies alike. And especially now being digital, it will open a whole world. So I will try to see some of that because in our experience with the huge companies, we see the trends and what are good now. But SPO offers us the possibility to see what surely will be the new trend and the new hotness in like a very near future. So in this indie department, one of our partners is the Brazilian Pavilion. And we know some developers that will be getting that. They get like a very, very strong team to show some news. And I will see there whenever I have a free time here. And I will invite everybody else to do it. Now, you said very personally on the other side of the spectrum, we have a late announcement that Konami will be in a huge virtual booth on Spiel first time, bringing Yu-Gi-Oh! Such a huge company established for so long with such beloved and very well-known IPs. So not only in the case of Yu-Gi-Oh! Card games are my second favorite kind of games, just after thematic miniature card games, of course. But for a curiosity point of view, I'm really anxious to see what's impressive of this power and weight will bring you to the table and what we can learn about it.
Okay, Gabriel, I think we are covered for today. And see you guys during the rest of the Spiel digital content.
Thank you so much, guys. Welcome to Spiel. Welcome to our Dragori virtual worlds. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your games. Have a great time.